Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Fallen. Welcome back to the Sputnik Entertainment channel. One of the biggest questions I have always gotten is what kind of gear you use, what kind of a microphone do you use, what kind of camera you use, what kind of a tripod you use, etc. Well, the honest truth is I'm a gearhead, so that always changes. Now I'm lucky enough that I have worked with companies over the years that I get to try out different gear. But oftentimes I buy my own gear, either on sale, or if I truly want that piece of gear, I just suck it up and pay the full price. And the point of today's video, I wanted to create a list each month discussing my 5 pieces of favorite creative gear. It could be a photography, videography, editing, whatever. Now you might say, hey Fallen, we're in the middle of January. Well, I wanted to talk about my 5 top most pieces of gear I used in 2020. Now, I'll be honest, I did not shoot and edit as much as I would like last year, like many of us haven't. But I wanted to discuss some of the gear that I did use. Now, the first piece of gear is GoPro Max. Now, GoPro Max is GoPro's most expensive action camera. And by its size, it's borderline not action. Now, I'm a huge lover of GoPro products. I'm not a huge fanboy, but I love their cameras. I've been using GoPro products since GoPro Hero 4 Silver, and I remember actually ruining my first GoPro I ever had, and that was the only GoPro I truly did ruin. I was flying to Miami to cover an event, an art event, and I was jet lagged, and I wanted to get some swim time before heading over to the shoot. And back in the day, GoPros were not naturally waterproof. They came in water in this little plastic case, as many of you guys might remember. And like I said, I was rushing, ran over to the beach, and of course I forgot to have the weather seal 100% closed. And 5 minutes into swimming, I realized that all the electronics were kaput, and a few minutes wound up going to a Best Buy right around the corner, and luckily enough I purchased insurance on it. And I've been purchasing insurance on GoPros ever since, just because it protects it. Now, once again, I'm not advocating for insurance or GoPro, I'm just sharing my personal experience. Now, this is not a full review of GoPro Max, and that will be coming actually in the next couple of videos. And I wanted to kind of give you the reason why I love it. I love 360 video. Now, this gives you 360 video on a high format camera. Now, I've shot on a lot of different 360 cameras over the years. Some more expensive than others. I've worked with Kodak Pixpro 360 and Kodak Pixpro 360 4K. And actually, I gotta dig out that camera so we can do a side-by-side comparison of the 360 component of it. I love VR, I love AR, and I think we're not using it enough, and I'm not sure if we'll ever take full advantage of 360 video, VR video. But if you want to shoot something in 360, this is amazing. I love shooting the time warps and time lapses on this. The microphone by default is great. Now I also own GoPro Hero 7. Another reason I purchased 7 over the 8 is because I purchased also the GoPro Karma grip. The GoPro Hero 8 does not support the Karma grip because they were advertising very smooth internal stabilization. Of course, GoPro Hero 9 has recently come out, and I gotta get my hands on one, and that review will be coming out. Now, the only reason I love this GoPro, it has so many features. It has different lenses, it has different settings, and there's so much packed in this tiny little camera. And I could throw it under the water or go swimming with it, or put it in a weird situations that your normal camera, like the one that I'm shooting on, could never survive for the most part. Or it would be very expensive because waterproof housing for cameras actually is very, very expensive. If you want to buy really good waterproof housing for the Canon camera, it can set you back a few $1,000s. So this is why this is an easy solution if you're going underwater, if you're doing any sort of sports activities. This is my favorite camera, and like I said, this is my favorite GoPro. Now, my second piece of gear, it kind of ties in with the GoPro, is a very big power bank. Now, these things are heavy, these things are bulky, they'll stand out. Now, this is the Anchor 26,000 milliamp power bank. I'll try to include the links for all the gear in the description of this video. I love how many ports it has. I love how fast it charges. You can actually charge it with 2 micro USBs at the same time, and it has 3 USBs out, which is great because you can charge multiple devices at the same time. Now the reason I say that it goes in with GoPro, because you can run USB-C to the power bank and you have much longer battery life. Now you can also run it with converters, and you can connect it to your cameras, you can connect it to your computer, you can charge so many devices. I think this device charges up to 20 phones in one, which is crazy. And this is not even the biggest power bank ever. So if you're interested in taking more advantage of just the battery inside a GoPro or your camera, think about creating some sort of a combination between a big power bank and your camera. Now, like I said, I usually have 2 of these. I actually gave one of these to my mom when she travels, because all her devices are quickly charged. Yes, they're heavy, but it's just so much power in this little body. You can press, see how many batteries you have, how many times you have left to charge, and it's great. Now, I don't know how much else I can say about a power bank. I think it's a boring topic, but it makes sense why you should have a big, juicy power bank. Now, this is by far one of my favorite companies, Edelkrone. This is the Edelkrone Flex Tilt Head first generation, and actually I obtained this courtesy of Edelkrone, which is really cool. Edelkrone, thank you very much, guys. You're amazing. I miss you guys. Hopefully everything is safe where you guys are at. I met these guys at NAB, and I've been huge fans of them for years before that. I actually shot some videos with their CEO a number of years ago. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do something with them in the future. Now, their gear is not cheap. This head, I believe I paid about, or it would cost you back $150 to $160, which is, once again, not cheap, but they make high quality gear. This is gear not a Chinese company can just easily knock off at the same quality. There has been Chinese companies trying to replicate their gear. Maybe I can make a side-by-side comparison. True Edelkrone versus a Chinese knockoff. Let me know if you guys that video idea, and I'll reach out to them. We can do some side-by-side gear comparison. Now, the reason I like this is because it allows me to get creative shots that normally you cannot do. So you can, for example, get an angle like this that a normal tripod, even if you have a high quality photography or videography tripod, will not allow you to get a shot of this nature, or a shot like that. Now, how often are you going to get a shot like that? Not often at all. But you do not want to have limited creative options. So if you wanted to get an interesting shot, an interesting time lapse, and an interesting angle, Flex Tilt Head by Edelkrone is my favorite piece of gear. And actually, once again, it ties well with the GoPro because it's not a heavy piece of gear, and you can slap it on to this head and then you can get to work. Now, of course, you can work with most of your tripods because there's the hole in the bottom. You screw it in, you slap your camera on top, bingo, bango, off you go. Now, once again, this is not a full review of this Flex Tilt Head 2. I'm sorry, Flex Tilt 2 came out, and maybe we can do a comparison between Flex Tilt Head 1 and 2. This is just a quick overview of the gear that I mostly used in 2020. Now, I've used other gear, but this is goes in my backpack, my travel bag, wherever I go, my camera bag. Look how small it folds. I love how quality, when you pick up a piece of gear, you quickly know if it's a high quality piece of gear, and this definitely feels like it. Now, the fourth piece of gear is I recently picked up Gtech, it's the Armor ATD Drive. Now, I've used dozens of different drives over the years. I've used LaCie drives, I used Western Digital, I used all sorts of drives over the years. I'm drawing a blank because there's been so many drives I've used over the years. And I picked it up at my local Best Buy when I came back to YouTube this year. And it does have a lot of similarities of a LaCie drive. Now, the reason I love this, it has this cool converter between USB-C and a traditional USB. So this is a USB-C to USB-C cable. If you wanted to add a traditional USB 3 head to it, you add it on, and it came with the packaging. So I can use this on my devices that still support traditional USB 3, or if it's a USB-C to USB-C, I could do that as well. Now, inside of this is a USB-C port, and actually this is a weather sealed port. So if you're working on location, if you're using an outdoor environment, you close this bad boy and no dust, no water, nothing should get inside. Now it does have these rubber touchy grips, which are great. Now these drives have huge amount of resistance. They can borderline be rolled over by a car. Now I recommend you trying to roll your drive over a car, especially if you're working on a production. No, not really, but I don't know, maybe there'll be a video of its own. And it does have these rubber bumpery grips like what C drives do, but I love the write and read speeds of these drives. Now, like I said, I've met Gtech several times. Gtech is actually part of Western Digital. They've been kind of working together, and one absorbed the other. I don't remember which one did which, but if you guys look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now these drives are great. Like I said, I wish I had more, and this might be my next drive to go to. I've used, like I said, I have dozens of C drives. I have tons of other drives, but this is my favorite one. Now I'm leaving the best for last, which is my loop deck. Now I purchased this a number of years ago, and it sat in the box actually collecting dust. I never used it, I didn't use it for the longest time. And when you plug it in, this is a game changer for your photo and video editing needs. Now this is pretty much a MIDI controller that connects to your Photoshop, to your Lightroom, to your Lightroom Classic, to your Express, and it gives you so much control that you borderline don't have to touch a keyboard. And I'm a very touchy-feely person, so having physical textile knobs is a game changer. Now, I use it on a very basic parameters. I am sure there's a lot more you can do with this. And actually they came out with a couple models since this one. I've been wanting to get them. See, I mean, well, you know what I mean? I'm a gearhead. So you have all, so if you're familiar with Lightroom, if you wanna rate your photo, you have the full 5-star system. You have your zoom, you have your copy, paste, brush, your undo, your redo. You have your full screen, you have your hue, saturation, and lume. You have your contrast, clarity, shadows, highlights, exposure, blacks, whites, vibrance, saturation, white balance, and tint. So you have all these knobs, and instead of using your mouse or instead of using keyboard shortcuts, you can quickly make modifications over it. Now you also have the whole color spectrum that with these color wheels, you can do adjustments this way. So it's, and then you can also quickly see before and after transitions. You have an export button, and you have your analog digital keys, and once again you have a zoom. Now this is a quick overview of this. It's a game changer. Whenever I edit any photos, if you guys follow me on my Instagram, 99% of the time I edit one of these photos, I have this bad boy with me, unless I just don't have room to travel with it. Now they do have actually a travel case, and like I said, I do plan on purchasing their newer generation loop decks. I definitely want to get one because they're like 30 bucks, and this is a $200, $300 piece of gear, and you definitely want to protect it. You don't want to throw it into your backpack so it potentially the knob wheels fall off or you can do any sort of damage. This is a product you want to have with you for a very, very long time. Now I'm actually surprised there hasn't been that many MIDI controllers for creative people. Now there has been a few companies that try to be in this market. Loop Deck I feel like is the best one by far. So guys, this is a wrap. This is my 5 top pieces of gear I have used in 2020. And actually, at the end of the month, I'll be coming out with my January 2021 list. Let me know if you used any of this gear before, if you want me to make a full review of any of this gear. And once again, I'll include links for all this gear in the description of this video. If you liked this video, if you want to support the channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. It helps us grow, it helps us make content. If you want to be part of the notification squad and be the first one to watch the video when it drops, while it's still rendering, when it still has all these ugly pixels, click that bell notification. If you guys want to stay in touch with me, all my social media links are in the description of this video. And as usual, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.